Hi, doing the two camera thing again today over here. I'm going to try to make this work. So, that's better. Hi, it's Coach MK, and I've been tapped by a really amazing group of women to initiate a series of fireside chats where we talk about the importance of today, which, if you didn't know, is National Girls and Women in Sport Day, which was organized by the National Foundation for Women in Sports. And I think it's kind of both amazing and ironic when that I was invited to do this, because when Coach Katrice, who by the way is badass, and you need to stick around for her chat because she's the real deal. She was a track coach at Mesa for a long time, and Mesa and Alamosa are two local Colorado schools that happen to produce some of the best runners this country has to offer on a regular basis, and she was one of the track and field coaches. But I digress. I think all of the women that have been tapped to speak today are truly amazing, accomplished women. And I think they let me go first because there's no way I could go after them. Because if any of y'all have heard me say in the past, I don't really think of myself as an athlete. And that's not for lack of self-confidence. I think I'm fucking amazing. My self-esteem is not in question here. And I say this with a straight face, as someone that this morning alone did an hour of rehab, which is basically strength work, a second hour on top of that of spine work, isolated spine work, and then turned around, did a 5-mile run, and just got out of the shower. But I'm not an athlete. And I think part of that, underlines the importance of today, not just for women and for girls, but for you as adults and for the daughters and the sons that you're raising that will have to interact with women, whether they like it or not. When it comes to sports, and when it comes to our kids and what we do, what's so funny about it, I get it. You want your kids to try everything, but I'm a product of a household that was determined that I would learn to play the piano as well as my cousin Angela. Now, my cousin Angela has a gift straight from God. She is good at it. I am not. 8 years of lessons, I'm still not as good as she was when she was 6 years old. So I'm a product of, yeah, I tried it, but there comes a point when you should be allowed off the path, when this isn't working, I don't enjoy it, I clearly don't have a gift for it. At what point does it become a waste of time and everyone's money? I'm also from a very rural part of the country, and a lot of people say that, but I mean it, man. I am from Smith County, Tennessee. My high school graduating class had 91 members, and my high school still to this day does not offer AP courses, a cross-country team, or a track team. So if you, in order to, the whole self-identification with the word athlete is really interesting because it's something you can't really self-select past a certain point. So when I failed to make the high school basketball team, at that point, and I joined the high school, the marching band, that was kind of it for my athleticism and my athletic career, or so I thought. Even though I'd been running all that time, jogging with my dad in the morning as part of his cardio rehab, I still did not think of myself as an athlete. Though I continued to run when I went to college, and most of my friends who played basketball in high school were not playing basketball in college, I still did not consider myself an athlete because I didn't have a team and I wasn't in competitions. It was just this thing that I'm doing. And it's kind of, that in and of itself is kind of an amazing thing. So on today, it is important that women are a protected category of sport, because otherwise we wouldn't be seen at all. If you've noticed in a lot of the top 10, to come up with those Sports Illustrated top 10, top 20 greatest athlete lists, when you look at what they exclude, sorry, this is where I get mad. What they exclude are sports that whose leagues, like lacrosse, bring in less than $1 million a year. It excludes athletes with disabilities that are out there doing badass stuff all the time, because that's considered something a little bit different. So you're never looking at the whole if you're only looking at the pieces that are put on television and make money now. For a long time, they didn't really understand what consumer tastes were. They just said, well, if we do this, no one's going to watch it, and for fear nothing changed. They wouldn't let women run a marathon until 1984 because they thought our uterus would fall out of our vaginas on the course. Doctors thought that. Surgeons thought that. It was a concern. Sorry, I'm looking at both cameras. And as ridiculous as that sounds, that was this concern so deeply rooted in the need to protect us that they wouldn't let us do things. So on one hand, as a mom now, I'm kind of like, I'm eager every day, like, do you want to play soccer? Do you want to play lacrosse? There's a lacrosse league over here. We could do whatever you want to do. There is stuff. We live in you don't know how good you got it because we live in the big city. Denver's a big city. We can do things. It's so cool. And my kids are like, now let's go home and snuggle. And I'm like, okay, I'm wearing the pajamas already for this is our slumber party night, and I'm already wearing the pajamas for pajama night because, if we're going to snuggle, we're going to do it competitively. We're going to take it seriously. Serious snuggles. We have matching pajamas. So I tell you that to tell you this. I still don't know where that line is about forcing your children to do something, especially if that thing is sport. I know I'm kind of grateful my parents didn't force me to participate in something or didn't, and that there were no options, right? I'm not an athlete because I didn't make a team way back when, and it doesn't matter that other people who did make that team probably haven't done anything athletic since. I will still think of them as athletes because they were part of that experience. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important. It's that experience that forms part of who you are. To say either, yes, I am this, or no, I am not that. And it's not bad. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's completely amoral. It's just part of the process of figuring it out. But I would argue that when you're part of a team and you have earned a spot on and you are good at that sport, and everyone else that is there is good at that sport, and you are trying to work together towards something bigger, that has to be a really incredible experience. And it's one that a lot of us won't have at all, because I can't think of another place that provides it. It's not quite the same in the workplace when you're trying to, I'm not curing cancer. I'm not part of like a cancer curing team of people that are trying to make things happen, although I know a whole lot of people who are. But what makes sport, why it's so important and why I should be allowed to do it, is it's such an intense, incredible experience that just isn't replicated anywhere else, that tells you who you are and where you fit on a team. And rather than, talk all day long, which, as y'all know, I usually could do, I'll take you back to when I was part of a team. Not a competitive team, though. And it's one of the reasons why if you ever get in my face and talk about participation medals, I'm going to get right back in yours, because mine meant the world to me. I participated in a team once, and I was the worst person on it. And as a girl in a rural county that was good at most of the things that I tried to do, but all the things I tried to do were academic, it was humbling. It was humiliating. And it was awful. But my parents were, because I'd committed to it and we paid the money, my parents weren't going to let me quit. And I was so bad that I remember this clear as day. The coach of my team, we were called the Lady Vols. There was the second year that I was playing. And I had no idea what position I was going to be put in. I just wanted to be the one where I couldn't be seen and couldn't be laughed at. And Gordy Woodard, God bless him, I said, I don't think there's a place for me here. He said, that's my job. If I can't find a place for you, then I'm not doing my job. And I intend to do my job today. Get back out there. And I went. And he made me catch her. And I caught poorly. And I threw back to Melissa, his daughter, who is an athlete, by the way. She was MVP of every team she ever was a part of. When I think of an athlete, I think of her. I'm not her. I'm nowhere near it. And forcing me into that was never going to make it happen. I got to be part of that experience and not feel less than, even though I was. So I tell you that to tell you this. It's important that I had that experience. It's important that women have the opportunity to have these experiences. Title IX matters. And yeah, there are questions about who falls into that protected category, and I'm not going to touch that with the 10-foot pole right now because I have opinions about all that too. But I will say that this day matters. Sports matter. Participation matters. Your eyeballs matter. Go look at someone that doesn't look like you, that does look like your daughter. I wonder what life would be like for some of my friends if they had had Deanna Pearson to look up to. And if you don't know who she is, Google it. She is amazing. If they didn't have Raven The Hulk Saunders to Google her, she was shot put at Ole Miss. Shot put in track and field's a badass sport, by the way. It's not just running. When you think of runners and you think of Shalane Flanagan, there's a whole bunch of women that don't look anything like her that are doing incredible badass things, but because you don't put your eyes on them, Sponsors and media people won't put them on the television. They won't put them on the covers of magazines. Nike will give them sponsorships to keep doing it, but they won't put them in front of you. I swear, there's a place for your daughter. There is a place for you somewhere in the world. And if you want to be an athlete, then damn right you are. But if you don't go try, then you might be that person. You might wake up one day coaching people, not knowing how that happened, and trying to explain yourself in a Facebook Live as to how you do this athletic thing and did athletic things all morning and still have one more strength class you have to go to this afternoon, but still don't see yourself as an athlete. So, that's my piece. You're coached. You're loved. I can't wait for the next one. I'm going to be doing hosting watch parties here on the channel all day long, so I can't wait to see what Coach Katrice has to say and what everyone else has to say next. Thanks for your time.